Hey guys, my name is Little Man Jose and welcome to another quickie review. Well, actually this is less of a review and more of a discussion about a difficulty setting in one of my favorite video games of all time, The Last of Us 1. This game is a treasure for obvious reasons and it's one of my first ever story games that I played. This game eventually led to my absolute love for story type games and honestly story type media in general. This game helped me realize how much I love a good plot and complex characters in my video games. And also, I still think that the visuals for the original game are still an absolute spectacle to this day, which is why I still don't understand what the fuck was the point of the goddamn remake. This game's not even 10 years old yet, people. But forget all that for a minute. Let's get to the meat of the video. The whole reason why I decided to write this script in the first place. I decided I wanted to play some Last of Us 1 a few days ago, and then I saw this. Now, I've been playing fucking normal mode for as long as I could possibly remember, so I decided, why not try out Survivor? I thought it was about time that I finally upped the difficulty because I played this game so much in my life that I can literally say almost every line in this game. I love this game to death. So it was actually kind of cool to spice the game up a little bit by playing on Survivor. And needless to say that decision would change the way that I see the gameplay of The Last of Us 1. If you ever asked me back then what I thought about Last of Us 1's gameplay, I would have said that it was an afterthought. I would have said it was a means to get to the awesome story. I always saw the gameplay as fun but very simplistic, and honestly it was a little too simplistic for my liking. You could literally fight your way out of every situation and win, especially if you're as skilled as I am. So yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the gameplay, but I thought it was good enough. Oh, how wrong I was, my friends. Guys, Survivor opened my eyes to just how fun and full of depth the gameplay actually is. This difficulty setting, not joking, made me fall in love with The Last of Us 1 all over again. As if it was my first time playing the game. Now, how the hell did a difficulty setting, out of all things, achieve this for me? How could it possibly be so different from the normal setting that it changed my view on it as a whole? Well, let's talk about it. And the first thing I gotta talk about is how Joel himself changed. In this mode, you don't have a HUD, meaning you can't see when you're supposed to dodge or block attacks. You just have to watch the opponent and dodge with your instincts. Another thing is the removal of listen mode. Let's be honest here, we all cheese the shit out of this mode to easily stealth your way out of the enemy's way. But you can't do that at all in Survivor mode. That is the equivalent of taking away the map that Solid Snake has in the Metal Gear Solid games. It will change the way that you handle stealth completely, and I believe it works amazingly in this game. Having a stealth without listen mode felt like a whole different experience. I was watching the enemy's movements, strategically coming up with plans to stealth kill the enemies without alerting the others. And trust me when I say that this is way fucking harder than you guys might think. The amount of times I died because some piece of shit saw me when I was choking out someone else is certifiably crazy. And in this difficulty setting, you can really feel how long the stealth kills are, which is why the shivs feel that much more important now. Shivs were so unimportant to me, and now they are probably the best fucking thing ever. And you lose health so goddamn fast in this game when someone fucking shoots you, man. I was at full fucking health, and it took 3 goddamn shots at most, and I was dead. And it would have been way quicker if those motherfuckers got a headshot on you, meaning that every move you make counts. And there are way less supplies in Survivor, meaning you can't craft as much, meaning that you don't want to waste anything at all, whether that's health kits, shivs, Molotovs, bombs, literally anything. Only using them when absolutely necessary, and in the final area, the hospital. Now this all may sound very hard and very stress-inducing, but trust me when I say it is so much fun, at least for someone like me. Having to look around every corner carefully and stealth kill enemies, being extra careful around clickers, because these motherfuckers have the hearing of those monsters from the Quiet Place. Using bricks and bottles strategically to either kill enemies or distract them. It's all great fun. This was also the first time I ever had to run away from enemies in this game to actually save my fucking ass. I love the fact that I can't win fights by brute force. You can't just rush into battles, you have to use your brain. The boss battle with David without listen mode, oh my god, there was so much tension looking around the corners, trying to see if that piece of shit was anywhere there, not knowing if he was gonna show up out of nowhere, or even if he was behind me. Which he actually did manage to jump scare my ass, and I loved it. And I felt like an absolute genius when he was at his 3rd stage and he was sneaking around, so I ran over some plates to lure him, which he actually did come, and I stabbed him at the back. It felt so ridiculously rewarding. And don't even get me started on how fun the hospital was, man. This place was an amazing test of your abilities, from stealth to the use of your weapons or distract items. And trust me when I say that the Fireflies did not let up. And there were so many of those motherfuckers that it felt a little overwhelming. But with some depths and good ass stealth that this game helped me hone, I eventually beat it and I loved it. New Game Plus was also great, and it gave me every single fucking upgrade that I had before, making Survivor a little easier and giving me a much more relaxing time. Survivor mode, in my opinion, felt like a breath of fresh air. Especially for a video game that I replayed dozens upon dozens of times. It makes you utilize the different environments in ways that most third-person shooters simply don't do anymore. it makes The Last of Us 1 really feel like a Survivor game. Now, after hearing all this, you probably think that Survivor is the definitive Last of Us experience. Well, I'm sorry, it's really not. Survivor is not perfect at all. It has a lot of problems that I just gotta speak about. One of those being that the positives that I just talked about with Survivor, they only really work for the first, 5 chapters of the game? I feel like after you leave Bill's town, that's it. This fucking game just gets crazy with the Survivor mode. Let me make this perfectly clear. Everything before you leave Bill's town, I think that shit works so amazingly in Survivor mode that it is the definitive way to play Last of Us. However, for everything after that, please, for the love of God, play on normal mode, I beg of you. The stealth was actually really well implemented in Bill's town because they were fucking zombies. I think that with people, sometimes this shit can get stupid. Now, stealth is the smartest way to get out of situations. The fucking hospital at the end taught me that more than anything else. But for every other part of this fucking game, it feels like stealth sucks ass, bro. Like when you stealth so good and then you just die and have to restart that whole section, it makes you just want to shoot everyone. Like, fuck it, I'm wasting bullets because fuck all of you. I hate you guys. And it turns out that that is probably the best way to play Survivor. Now, I know I said the ammo was scarce, but what I didn't know was that enemies will drop fucking bullets like it's candy. Technically, you will literally never run out of bullets. So if you're a good aim and actually make smart fucking decisions with your bullets and how you're gonna kill the enemies, I would suggest using fucking guns. If anything, Survivor mode helped me appreciate the game's third-person capabilities when it came to the shooting. Because this game is a third-person shooter at heart, and we all know this. So playing the game like it's an actual third-person shooter instead of just, you know, a combat fest, it's actually kind of fun. But since you're fucking shooting bad guys anyway, just play it on normal mode. There's no point to Survivor. Like, I would literally be lying if I said that I didn't have stress balls playing Survivor mode with the way I was playing it, okay? Stealth is not the way that this game should be played. I'm gonna be honest here. It's really fucking not. I would recommend playing against stealth and only using it in the toughest of situations. Like, yes, use stealth if it is literally the smartest way to get out of your situation, aka zombies. Anything to do with zombies, most likely stealth is gonna be the best way out of it, especially if it's a clicker. This kind of stuff I can appreciate, but the stealth with the fucking fireflies or the hunters, nah, bro, get that shit the fuck out of here. I'll shoot them any day of the week over this goddamn thing, okay? It gets to the point where every battle is a headache, and I just don't think a video game should be like that. But again, even with the bad side of Survivor, it still helped me appreciate the game. If anything, Survivor helped me appreciate both the stealth aspect with the first few chapters and then the third-person shooter aspects with the last few chapters. It is not the definitive Last of Us experience, but goddamn it, man, it was a breath of fresh air. I am happy to say that it did help me love The Last of Us 1 all over again. Overall, play normal mode, but I just wanted to talk about how amazing this game was for a minute. And I'm happy that Survivor helped me appreciate not just Last of Us 1's gameplay, but the whole experience. It was nice seeing Ellie and Joel again in their little playful banner, something that was definitely missing from Last of Us 2. And the visuals are still fucking amazing. Like, I can't stress that enough. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about The Last of Us. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.